آخر كلامه, his last words were أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. And then the dad said, which was very overwhelming for me, but he looked at him and he said, Amana? Like, Amana, those were his last words. Like, that was one of the most comforting things you could say to the father of a martyr, to the father of the shaheed.
And for me, it was just this insane cognitive dissonance between like using all my sujood dua time to pray for Palestine, to pray for Gaza, and then wake up the next morning and work at a company that I have evidence is contributing to that suffering.
I just did not want to face Allah on the Day of Judgment and have to admit to any complicity in this genocide.
We really need to think of our humanity. Muslims, but I'm talking about in general. What is a human being? If you don't feel the others, if you don't feel if you can do something, you can do it for the others. Otherwise, we're going to be what? So what can we do? This is, and again, I said this actually at the border after we passed. I looked at my colleagues and I said, I always felt being a physician is a profession, gives you a lot. Yes, it's a humanity, you help people, but reality gives you a lot. This is the only time where I'm so grateful. I felt it at the border. I'm so grateful to Allah. I am a physician, because without being physician, this is probably will be very difficult. Right. And number two, exactly, why do you want to do that? That's when you say, being a physician is a humanitarian, you help people. And absolutely, that's what they told us, all of us. Even, I didn't deliver a lot, I delivered only 2 people, because the drive from the hospital to the other hospital was not very safe. So they kept telling me, not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. But everyone looked at me especially, or everybody actually. They said, the fact you are here, tell us that you care.
You know, every single person there, when it's time for salah, is praying. Every single person, and they're praying anywhere. You know, I remember in the ICU, that the ICU doctor and one of his nurses stepped out into the hallway to pray dhuhr. You know, and they've got their sajada, they've got their carpet that they're laying down. Nobody's missing salah over there. But the respect for dignity in Gaza I've never seen anything like that in the United States. I was in Detroit, in Chicago. If somebody's belly was exposed in the process of us carrying them to a CT scanner or putting them on the floor, a nurse, a doctor was grabbing a sheet to cover them. You know, if there is an elderly person that comes in that's sick, a young person who's injured or has all these different tubes and lines inside of them, he's getting up off of the bed to give it to the elderly person. You know, I mean, the grandma who was shot by a drone, paralyzed from the waist down, everybody's calling her mama. He said, before the war, I was complaining that I was only getting 60% of my salary. He said, before the war, I was complaining that I can only go from the north to the south. Before the war, I was saying, we don't have a lot of different restaurants. It's always the same food over and over again. Before the war, I was complaining about the water. And before the war, I was complaining about 12 hours of electricity because Gaza operates at an energy deficit. He said, after the war, I have 0% of my salary. He said, I've got no food, no water. He goes, I can't even go to the north of Gaza anymore. I can only stay in Khan Younis and Rafah. And he goes, we have no electricity now. He goes, so the day that this war is over, every single day I'm going to say, Alhamdulillah. I'm going to appreciate the barakah that I live in.
So what the people of Gaza have done is they've built tents right next to the masjid. And so they pray Taraweeh there. Even post breaking of the ceasefire, they were still gathering to pray Taraweeh in numbers. Because I maybe we could talk about it later if you remind me. I went to the masjid for Taraweeh as well. So I went for Eid prayer. I saw people going in different musallas. Some were out in the open, just on the street. Kids with their parents walking to the musalla, as well as tents. So I prayed inside of a tent. The musalla was packed. It was immediately next to or across from a destroyed masjid. The masjid, the crater that the missile left at that masjid went 18 meters deep. That's how the strength of the bomb they used to attack that masjid in Khan Younis. And subhanAllah, the khatib, it was a short khutbah, it was 6 minutes, and he reminded the people of the same things that see, the religion of Islam is universal to everyone. So the same messages that you're being shared with here, they're being shared with there. They're a reminder of taqwa, that Ramadan is meant to build in us things that carry on with us throughout the year. But one thing he emphasized to the people is that all of you have suffered. All of you have lost something, your homes, your family, your loved ones, your limbs. But Allah wants us to be happy on this day, so we will be happy on this day. And in Gaza, this man, subhanAllah, old man, 79 years old, but the picture of Sakina, he had black dress shoes, black dress pants, a suit jacket on, looked very well presented, well composed and the like. And when he told me he lives in Egypt and he entered in, a month before the war, I asked him, why are you still here? Because he could have left back to Egypt. And his response was so telling. He quoted the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, in which the Prophet ﷺ said that the best ribat, the best form of keeping your ground on a Muslim territory that's being under attack, there will come a time when the best ribat will be the ribat of Asqalan, which is the ribat of Gaza. Gaza is Asqalan, present day Asqalan. And so he quoted that hadith. And so he said, why would I leave? 79 years old. And he said, why would I leave when I can have this reward? Prophet said that one day in ribat is better than this whole world and everything that's in it.
If you really are concerned about the future of Christianity in the Holy Land or in Palestine, whatever you call it, as an American Christian, you have to bring just peace. You have to bring equality. There is no future for us as Palestinian Christians under apartheid. It's plain simple.
So in a sense, Islam provides a roadmap. And for me, having embraced Islam late in life, I have come to believe very strongly that because of the influence of the values and principles that are associated with the faith, one cannot but seek to live a different life.
Are you ready? This is what struck me, Sheikh Omar. As if they were ready. As if they were ready. We were talking before we started. When you talk to the young people, you don't say, do you know Quran? You don't say, have you read Quran? Are you a hafil? The norm. And then they put their head down like that and said, 10 ajza. 10 ajza?
Yeah.
Because I asked them, what do you want from us? And more than one person said, we don't need anything. They need a lot. But the izzah. And they said, just go back. Tell people about us. Don't forget us. We are here. We are living. And when you come to visit us, that had a lot of impact on us. Because I kept saying, I didn't do much. He said, you, not to me, us. You all did a lot. Go back and speak about us and remind people about a place called Gaza.